This is part 3. It's our last part on a little series of actions and consequences. And so we talked about in the last 2 parts about how others' actions can sometimes influence us and how we need to respond to that, as well as how we need to be able to accept the consequences of how we have made an action and not try to blame it on somebody else. So in this section, in this part, I really want to talk about how we choose wisely what we do and what we say. So in the previous ones, I've kind of already touched base on this, is that we need to take pauses, and we also need to think through before we make decisions and choose to make actions happen. So when we talk about choosing wisely, there are things that you have to make sure you have in place before you are making a wise choice. First is that we don't make decisions in the heat of the moment. We don't want to have high levels of emotion going on. You want to make sure that you are in a calm space in order to make that happen. Secondly, when you're trying to consider what actions you need to take or how you might need to say something, you need to consider not only one way of doing it, but multiple ways of doing it. So what are some different ways I can say this? How are each of those ways maybe interpreted by somebody else, so that I'm making sure I make the right choice of what I'm going to say, or what the action is. Will that be interpreted in a wrong way? Is there another way for me to approach this? Having some ideas outside of just one other choice will help you pick the right way to move forward. And third, another piece you need to do is you need to be able to take the ideas and choices that you have in front of you, and while you're trying to make that decision, is to reach out to somebody you trust to provide you some guidance. Now, when I say somebody you trust, this is somebody that tends to be somebody who doesn't react emotionally themselves, that aren't just someone who will just fly off the handle or make very quick decisions or judgments on people, but really those that will help reflect with you. You know, having somebody who's mentoring with you, or somebody that you just know will listen to you and consider the situation and provide you honest feedback. And when we think of honest feedback, quite often when we ask for that from certain people, they're going to give you what you want to hear. And what you really need is somebody who's going to be honest enough to tell you what you need to hear, not worrying as much about hurt feelings. Because when you ask for real opinions and you ask for real guidance, you might hear something that doesn't necessarily feel comfortable. It might get your back riled up. But you need to be not upset about it. You need to be calm about it, and you need to see it for what it is. It's not meant to hurt your feelings. It's meant to give you guidance. It's meant to be very honest with you in a way that will help you, and it's not meant to be criticism in such a negative fashion. It's meant to really just help you do what you've asked them to help you with. So when we ask for this guidance, we need people who are going to be honest with us. And then we need to actually consider what they've told us. I don't know how many times I've had a friend ask me for my opinion on something, and they turn around and do something else, and it doesn't work out. And then they come crying back and go, well, it didn't work out. And I'm like, you didn't even listen to what I said. You completely blew off what I mentioned to you. And that really kind of is frustrating on the part of the person who's giving advice, in terms of the fact that a lot of people just ask, but they really just want to hear what they want to hear. And that's not what I'm going to do if I'm giving advice. And really we need those good friends that are going to be that person for us, that aren't going to just make sure that our feelings aren't hurt, but that we're told what we need to really hear. So making sure that when we get that advice back, not taking it personally, but knowing it's coming from a place of love, and knowing that it's not meant to be construed in this negative manner of like you're doing something wrong, as opposed to I'm here to help you to improve. So making sure we're choosing wise things is that we're stopping to think through what choices we have, that we're asking people in our lives for good, honest opinions and feedback, and that we take that feedback into account before we make a decision. Making those wise choices is very important. Now, if you're a Christian or if you have a religious belief, going to your text and going to your faith and thinking through what you believe God is asking of you in this, or what examples you already have from your scripture, that is huge. That right there is also huge guidance in making wise choices. It also gives you that time to really continue to pause and really think about what you should be doing, and it can give you big insight into how to really respond to something. So I hope that this helped you, and if you have extra questions or if you even have tips on other things you do to make wise choices, leave us a message in the comments below. I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of the year. We are getting close to 2023, and I look forward to doing something new coming up in the new year, and have a great one. Merry Christmas, guys.